he wants a popular uprising. He wants a sort of mass unrest on the level of the people to overthrow the government itself, and not a military intervention to sort of end the regime.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by foreign affairs reporter Timothy Nerozzi. Tim, we're having the Israeli military strikes against Iran, but people are already thinking to the next stage. What happens if the government falls, if there's regime change? And there's somebody who is auditioning to maybe take over for the Ayatollahs if the regime falls. Talk a little bit about who that is.
Yes, so Iranian Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi has long been held as the sort of de facto prime candidate to step into a post-Islamic Republic Iran. He is the son of the former Shah, who enjoyed sort of immense popularity with many expats that were fleeing Iran following the revolution. Right. While attitudes inside of Iran itself is something like a black box, very hard to do polling in a nation like Iran, there is the general belief that both inside and outside of Iran, among nationals, that Reza Pahlavi remains the most popular candidate to take over a more democratized Iran.
And he's basically said publicly he's rested and ready.
Yes, so the Crown Prince very much rejects the idea of his hereditary right to monarchy, at least publicly. He very much emphasizes that he wants democracy in Iran and he wants sort of popular politics in Iran. However, he has, in the last couple of days, shown a lot more gumption in talking about his role in a future Iran. He had a speech this week in which he talked about how him using the term we for whatever group he's referring to, whether it's his sort of national council or whether maybe the royal we. He said, we are prepared for the first 100 days of a transitional government. We are making preparations. We are, sort of acting in these different ways. He's said that regime change is inevitable, that Khamenei's government will not be able to hold, that it is irreversible, the damage that has been done. And he's very happy about that. And his call has been the same as it has been for many years, which is that he wants a popular uprising. He wants a sort of mass unrest on the level of the people to overthrow the government itself, and not a military intervention to sort of end the regime.
So what do American and Israeli experts think? Do they believe that regime change is on the table at this point?
Well, it's very interesting. Israel named its operation that began the strikes against Iran Rising Lion. And the lion and the sun is a very common Persian motif that is very strongly associated with the Shah and the House of Pahlavi. So it is an interesting choice. There's also been a lot of activity on social media by Israeli government accounts that have, again, emphasized rising lions, the lion and the sun, things like that. So Israel clearly has something in mind here, has some sort of, whether it's just overtures to that pre-revolutionary idea of Iran, it's very much in their messaging, although they have not said we are going to intend to put Reza Pahlavi into some sort of leadership position. The messaging and the aesthetics of their campaign very much allude to it.
Well, and the nature of the regime is very much embedded into why Israel and most of the rest of the world don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. Obviously there is a desire for nuclear non-proliferation generally, but it is specifically the Islamic Republic and the way they are motivated religiously and ideologically that makes people uncomfortable with them specifically having nukes.
Yes, and the Crown Prince is often speculated to be in some way connected with the U.S. government or Israeli factions. He has denied this. He has said that he is not operating on the behalf of or with the assistance of any foreign government. But whether or not that is the case, the U.S. and Israel clearly see him as a primary and preeminent candidate to sort of head the idea of a post-revolutionary Iran, a post-revolution Iran. His lineage with the last Shah of Iran, very much, it floats above politics a little bit. It's this apolitical leadership idea, or just embodying a certain sense, a national polity. And so whether he has any sort of political influence, whether he's a figurehead, whether he's a ceremonial head of state, whether he's a democratically elected leader with political power, is not really something that we can predict, or even if he will fit into a regime change. But that's very much the essence of what's happening here, is that he's being floated as a sort of spearhead for a new Iran, a democratized Iran, a Iran that puts the Islamic Revolution firmly behind it.
Thank you, Tim. You can read Timothy and the rest of our national security team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.